Shabbat, happy Sabbath.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to all my Kodeshim out in Kodeshim land. The set apart, the ones called. We're going to give y'all time to I don't know what's going on with this right here, but.
You don't know. It's the operator.
We don't want this. Could,
There we go.
You good? I'm just old. It takes me a minute.
I don't know what's going on with this, but I don't know how to get all this off of there.
What is it?
This.
Close. Oh, well, maybe it's new.
I don't want green screen. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't like it being on there, though. How y'all doing?
Technical error.
Hello, Mr. Uncle Snacks and Walking Tall. Happy Sabbath to you guys. We're going to wait this there. I ain't never seen that before. That air ain't going to do nothing. That air ain't going to do nothing.
I don't think you can get rid of it.
It's never been there before.
It's probably new.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, well, it's updated. My phone's been updated, guys. I guess. But happy Sabbath again. Today we're going to be doing scriptures on boldness. That was per request of. Oh yeah, I'm gonna flip the phone around, and I want y'all guys to see everybody. Look, there's my shirt. Look at the shirts. We all got our coat. We all got our Yahuah shirts going. Even little Parker got his. Look at here. We all got them on. We having fun. But that was our study group, guys. We appreciate you guys joining us. But we got a lot of scriptures we're gonna do with. I don't know if anybody who else did their homework. I know Uncle Snacks, you did some homework, didn't you? And I know Walking Tall did. I had to do a little crash course. I got my scriptures done. I found over 100.
Whoa.
So, but I ain't gonna use all 100. But there's a lot of scriptures on boldness, guys. And Patty, I'm gonna let her tell you what she was meaning in her heart and her mind, what she was wanting this for, so we'll all have a better understanding and know which scriptures to go to. You want to tell us what was the boldness for, Miss Patty?
Yeah, buddy.
I ain't putting you on the spot. I don't mean to put
It's okay. You can put me on the spot. Well, what prompted us to have this was I have a lot of people that I used to go to the church with.
Yeah.
The Sunday church with, and they keep asking me when I run into them, they keep saying, "So what church do you go to now?" And I want to be bold and tell them that I don't go to a regular church anymore.
You don't go to a false church. Or the wrong church, a Sun God Day church. See, that's the boldness that you gotta be able to stand up and say, look, it takes boldness to be able to go outside your doors to somewhere and tell people, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Me and Christina was talking about this morning. There's been times where Abba Yahuah has opened a door for me to put my foot in, and I wouldn't put my foot in. I'd usually put it in my mouth instead.
Yeah.
And turn. But see, that's old. It doesn't happen like that anymore. When that door, if I can get a little crack in there, I'm gonna. You give me an inch, I'm taking a mile. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's hard to tell somebody that it's extremely hard to find the words to tell somebody everything you've ever been taught your entire life is a lie.
It's a complete lie. But see, guess what? That's why we got to unload it. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
I just want to say,
Loud.
if people don't think that we're in these times,
Mm-hmm.
in LA yesterday, a 9-year-old little girl was arrested for calling somebody that because it's Pride Month
Yeah.
at the LGBT whatever
The alphabet parade.
community.
Yeah.
She called them a demon, and the 9-year-old little girl was arrested.
Yes, that's sad. If you didn't hear what she was talking about in California, a little 9-year-old girl got arrested for talking out against the alphabet parade. You know what I'm talking about? The one that hijacked my father's rainbow. I want my rainbow back. I'm like, y'all ever watch Star Trek? Mm-hmm. He says to boldly go where no man is going. Guess what? We boldly forward in the kingdom. I want my rainbow back.
We weren't born to be afraid of the storm.
Yes, Monica. Nice. Hello, Monica. we're glad you joined us. We pray that you'll subscribe and share, because today we're doing on boldness, and I know everybody's got scripture, so I'll read some of mine, and I'll let everybody have their turn and read theirs. Like we'll go around. Like what did you come up with? You can read a couple if you want to. Y'all go ahead and find whatever y'all want to find and get ready to read. I got 4 I'm going to read, guys.
Which 4 do you have?
It doesn't matter. We'll read them twice if we have to, because some people ain't listening.
All right. So
So-
we can start off with
Yeah, go ahead.
Proverbs 28:1.
Proverbs 28:1. Read it loud for us so we can
Which states-
remember, guys. This is on boldness, how to go out into the world and try to find and bring other people into the Kodeshim to set apart. Go ahead,
So
Tim.
Proverbs
Proverbs
28:1 states
28:1.
that the wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion.
What do you think that means?
The wicked come after you. And
no.
the righteous-
Read it again. Read it again.
The wicked flee when no man pursues. When no man pursues, they're not pursuing what they.
What's the next verse say? The next part of that.
But the righteous are bold as a lion.
That means they're going to turn and run. The ones that are not part, are set apart, they're going to turn and flee.
The code of sin.
The Kodeshim ain't. They're going to stand
They're
like
bold.
that lion. They're going to stand there and stand your ground. That's what they're going to do. And that's part of being bold. Now, this is, to me, this is a refresher course. And I know not everybody's where everybody else is. We're all on different levels. And there's nothing wrong with being ashamed of being somewhere on, because you know what? The ones that are high up in the level, the Bible tells you to go to them. Don't be ashamed, because there's people that know. And that's the only way you're going to learn it, is by going to these people that you already know that's further along in the walk. Now, some of them might slip and fall along the way. I've slipped and fell. Nobody's perfect. But we're to look at our elders, the ones that are further along in the word, to be able to talk to them, because you're not going to get this meat by yourself. It's going to be hard. You need like-minded people. Philippians 2:2.
Yep.
Go ahead and read some more, Tiffany. What you got for us?
Well, Robin's got some.
You don't want to read a couple more?
Okay, just one more.
One more. What we got? Remember, you got to be bold.
489.
What are we getting?
Tell us where. Joshua 1:9.
Joshua, the Old Testament, 1 verse 9.
All right. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of a good courage. Be
Wow.
not afraid, neither be dismayed. For Yahuah Elohaka is with you,
He's with you.
wheresoever you go.
He's with you. Be
He's
brave.
by my side.
You know what? We all fall short of that, don't we?
Yeah.
I know I do. Go ahead, Dallas. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
Yeah.
you. I mean, 100%.
Yeah, because sometimes, like I said, sometimes that door, he gives you a crack in the door and you don't go.
Scared.
You're scared. Yep.
Fear.
That's fear. And he
Not
said not to
given.
fear. Yep.
Yep.
Look, all they can do, all they can do,
Laugh at you.
that's
They
it.
say you're crazy.
That's it. That's all they can do.
And you gotta keep in mind, standing in front of them and getting ridiculed by them, standing in front of your father on Judgment Day,
Yeah.
and having to answer for not.
And guess who's going to be doing
I'm
the
a lot
laughing?
more worried or concerned
We'll
about
probably be
what he
crying for them
thinks. Yeah.
Yeah, but he says he's going to wipe away. He says he laughs
at their derision.
at their derision. That's what derision is. It's laughing. He laughs at you, man. People say God loves everybody. Yeah,
Their
God, your God
derision
might.
is their foolishness.
Yeah, your God might not laugh at you, but my Yahuah will laugh at you. He says he will. If you're not in his set apart, he's going to laugh at you. He's going to laugh at your calamities. If you don't believe me, look it up. That's all I can tell you. Hello, Miss Jane. We love you, Dave. We love y'all. Get Heather on the line too. Tell them I always say, hello, Heather. Good morning. This is all about boldness, being able to go out and
where
forward the
no
kingdom
man has gone.
with boldness, to boldly go where other Kodeshim have been.
Yes.
Isaiah's been there. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, All of them. Daniel, they've all been there.
But
Bless you. Selah.
Thank you.
But all right, Taylor, go ahead and get you some verses in. What you got for us?
I got Acts 4:29 through 31.
Acts 4:29 through
Going down my
31.
little list here.
Yep. There's my
Tiffany done
list.
got two of mine.
I only put down.
What, no?
I found 100 or more, but I only put.
Oh, sorry.
That's
that
all.
would
If you
be
wanna
all.
copy
no,
them, you
I just
can.
wanted to give
I got
it
Old
to you
Testament,
when
New
it doesn't
Testament.
fall off when I
Remember,
flip.
these came from here.
Yeah. Yours looks different than mine.
All right, which ones we got? Acts
Acts
4
4:29 through 31.
through 31. Okay, let's hear what we got.
And now, Adonai, behold their threatenings, and grant to your servants that with all boldness they may speak your word, by stretching forth your hand to heal, and that signs and wonders may be done by the name of your holy Son, Yahushua. And when they had prayed, and the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, and they spoke the word of Elohim with boldness.
With boldness. They were filled with the Spirit. See, the Spirit, man, when you get the Ruach on you, the HaKodesh, man, don't quench it. Let it go.
Yeah.
Whatever you got the urge to say,
Let it flow.
let it flow, because that's Him. If you have an urge to say something, when you're filled with the Spirit, let it roll, man. It don't matter. What are they going to do? They can't. They can't bite you, or they can if they want to, but they can't hurt you. Well, they will in the future, but because they're coming for us. But right now, what are they going to do? Mock you?
But we don't need to fear that. We need to
I don't
Yahuwah.
fear it, no, because He says, "Think not what you're to say in that moment."
Yeah.
For the Ruach HaKodesh will speak for you. He'll give you an utterance that they can't refuse. That's what. And see, my mind likes to think ahead, and I hope that ain't going to be a problem with me, because I like to think. I guess I think too much sometimes, but I like to think in the Word. But if He says don't think about it at that time, don't think about it. Just don't do it. Remember, don't. A lot of people don't understand that word. Don't do. I command you this day, don't do as the heathens do. Oh, but he really meant, no, he said don't do it.
Right.
Don't.
And don't make excuses for your wickedness either, because the word says it's wicked.
Look, when your daddy told you to stay out the liquor cabinet and you went and got in it and he found out because he marked the bottles, then he beat your tail. That's what father's going to do. That's what he's going to do. He says don't do it. Don't do it. And I just had, look, that's the first thing that popped in my mind, because I used to do that when I was younger. I'm just telling you,
Just tell it all.
when I was young and dumb, but I still didn't march to the beat of this world. That's the difference. I've always been an outcast,
Me too.
shunned. They said I don't think
Black
the way
sheep.
people do. That's right. I don't think the way this world thinks. He tells us to come out.
I think that's a gift.
Yes.
I believe it is too. And if you'll notice, most Kodeshim have problems, like financially, they are spiritually. It's like we're being oppressed constantly.
By the enemy.
It's by the enemy, but because it's nothing works out right for you a lot of times. I've had that problem so much, and it's just like but guess what? He
Robbers
tells
don't
us.
break into empty houses.
Yes, they don't. That's a good analogy.
Uncle
Robbers won't
Sam.
break in an empty
But
house.
sometimes it's because we allow the enemy to come in where it shouldn't
You know what?
be.
I wouldn't say that it's allowed, because you know
Sometimes
why?
it is.
I think
Well,
sometimes it
listen,
is.
hold on, listen. The word tells us that we're going to be oppressed. You are going to
I
be.
believe that, but
For
I
his
think
name's
some
sake.
of it is where we turn a blind eye.
Yeah, because we're stupid.
Yes.
And we'll go out and do something we know we shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
And that would
exactly. And I would say that would probably be
Inviting
a good
somebody in.
50% of
Yeah.
the time.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, it's like it's hard for me to explain, like health wise. Health. The enemy's gonna oppress you with your health. He's gonna oppress you with your finance, and it's designed to do is to get you to your will to be broke. And guess what? My will ain't been broke. I've been through so many things you just won't believe. You would not believe the stuff that
But
I've
you
been
know
through.
what? That's where we come in boldly to one another.
Boldly.
And tell them. We had a person to contact us this week, and I'm going to tell you what. That's where he gives knowledge to. Somebody said it. He's going to give. We've seen a video where each person is going to get a specific thing, whether they be a builder or this
Yep.
one knows the herbs
Yeah.
or this
Yep.
one knows how to do that.
It's the
But
body.
if you
We're all
come,
part
but
of the
you
body.
come in together, we were praying with this person and over this person. And by the time the end of the phone call, this person's countenance had
Yes.
changed dramatically.
Yes.
And I don't even know that they were fully aware that it was. But it was beautiful because we were all coming together praying for this person. And then they started feeling it. And,
Yeah.
and,
It's
and
working in real time.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
the Ruach, it knows no distance.
No.
Yeah.
We
No
were
distance.
praying and, but we have to believe
Uncle
that
Snap.
those
That's right.
things.
Yes, he did.
Somebody read what he said.
So he brought up Matthew 10:28, which says, "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the
Amen.
soul,
That's
but rather
right.
fear him,
Amen.
That's right.
which is able to destroy both soul and
Gehenna.
body, and Gehenna."
That's the Gehenna. Gehenna. That's the.
Place of everlasting punishment.
Thank you for that, Uncle Snap.
But
Yes.
guess what? Gehenna's an actual place that the Messiah used to describe what hell's going to be like. Gehenna was at the south end of the town. It was like what we call today a trash dump. But this place, Gehenna, burned. It smoldered. It always smoldered. That's what. If you was a robber, a murderer, they crucified you. You would go to Gehenna. They would put the
Just
dead,
throw you in there.
not a Kodeshim, somebody that was not Kodeshim, that was a lawbreaker, the Father's law. That's where they would go to in Gehenna, along with the trash. That's pretty brutal. And like I said, don't take my word for it. Go look up what Gehenna is. That's what it was. It was the city dump where it burned and smoldered, and that's where the dead would go that weren't in Messiah or wasn't in covenant with the covenant of promise. That's where they went, along with all their trash. That's Gehenna, and that's what he's referring to with Gehenna. In Matthew, he'd put you in Gehenna. That's where you'd go. Now, that was a physical meaning too. I mean, a spiritual. Gehenna was representative of Sheol, hell, Hades. That's what he's telling you there. It's the idioms. It's a metaphor. That was an allegory. He painted a picture of what hell's going to be like if you're not in covenant with him. All right, we got another one?
Yeah. Philippians 1, it's 12 through 20. If you want me to read it all, I will.
I got Philippians 1 and 20.
1 and 20, yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
did.
Okay, we can just do 20. According to my earnest expectation and my hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness as always. So now also Mashiach shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death.
See there? That's how bold we got to be. He tells us, remember, he tells us over there in Matthew again, you stay faithful unto death. Even unto death.
I want to read another one
Go ahead.
too. It's 14.
Which one is it? Acts 14?
No, it's Philippians
14,
1:14.
1:14, guys, if y'all listening.
And many of my brethren in Yahuah, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear.
Yes, to speak it without fear. And see, I think that's where a lot of us fall short a lot of time. I've been there, guys. I have. I'm not going to lie to you. Especially in a big crowd. But see, I'm not afraid anymore. If I can get a crack in the door, I'm taking it. I'm doing my best to take it and not be afraid, because that's where a lot of they're afraid. They're just afraid. It's not bold. That's the direct opposite of being bold.
Yeah.
If you're afraid, you're a coward. What's he say in Revelation about cowards? As a matter of fact, he used the word coward before he put it in place of whoremongers, he put the coward first.
They will not make it into the kingdom.
So think about that for a minute. That's pretty rough. Now, Dallas, you got some?
Yeah.
What you got for us?
Let's go to Matthew 10:1.
Matthew 10, verse 1, guys. Matthew 10, verse 1.
And when he had called unto him his 12 Talmudim, he gave them the power against unclean ruach, to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. I thought that was bold because when you're using Yahushua's authority, for one, you have to be bold. You know,
You
to
do.
cast out demons, to do the will of the Father, you have to be bold.
Yes. Now, speaking about those demons and stuff casting out, I'm not going to tell you guys where it's at. If you're out there listening, I want you to do it to study for yourself. But there's a place when they came to Messiah and says, why couldn't we cast this guy out?
I know.
And he's going to say, yeah, you might know, but let them find it. He says, why couldn't we cast this? He said, because that one requires fasting.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm going to let you guys find that. So if there's demonic possession or demonic oppression on somebody or around somebody, you may have to fast, but you need to be in prayer while you're fasting, because I've seen people. Listen, it's a sound of sounding crazy, but I'm being bold here. I have been a part. I've heard and saw with my own eyes a demonic possession in a woman, and I took part in this. And I'm going to tell you, her eyes turned jet cold black, and she started speaking in a different voice, and it was so, and she was foaming and spitting at the mouth. People think this is all fun and games. It's real. I'm telling you.
I think that's
And guess what
it is
happened
on
to
the
me?
plane.
When I first saw those eyes, they changed 3 different times, solid black across. I mean, just straight black. Well, I was like a deer in the headlights. It scared me. It did. It scared me. But the Ruach, when the other guy was with started, because he's done it a lot. Once he shouted, "Come out!" the Ruach hit me just like a ton of lead, just bam, and this just started flowing. I took this old little bitty finger and stuck it right up underneath the chin, and it was like, you know how you get a fish and they can't move once you put their thumb in their mouth? The spirit had that thing captive right there, and it was, and just the spirit started speaking, and I'm telling you, I commanded it, and this one wasn't as powerful, I don't reckon, because it came out, and she went over there and started vomiting and stuff. I mean, it was nasty, but I heard later on, a few weeks later, that she went back to their ways, and you know what it says, that 7 more take its
more
place.
come in more powerful.
And I hated that for her, because and I that's the only time that's ever happened in my life, guys, and it scared me. But once the spirit entered in, I don't ever want to see nothing like that again, just to be honest with you. But if I have to, I will. I'll do it for the Father, but I don't know if that's my gift, or I don't know, because I've only done it once. And it's hard, guys. It's real. People out here, there's demonic oppression everywhere.
I just wanted to say quick too on fasting.
Yes.
People
Say it loud.
Don't go around telling everybody when
No.
you're
Yeah.
going to fast.
Yeah,
You don't
tell
throw
'em.
food in your face as soon as they get a chance to.
And
You're
not only
hungry,
that, but
right?
you'll have people actually praying against you.
Yes.
You know, so it's better.
Well, he says to do it in secret.
And
You
you're-
don't go and you don't tell people what you're doing. You just
But
do
prayers.
it. Yes, you do it, and you don't. Your countenance shouldn't change.
Yeah, you should be smiling and be happy, because that's what you do when you fast. And when you fast, I like to fast. I ain't fasted in a while, but I do. But you know, the guy that I was with that night said he had to go to a house that had demonic activity. He said that before he went, he had to pray, and the Father told him to fast for 7 days. So he fasted for 7 days before he went over there. But see, I don't expect
And there was
people to
a
believe
record that was
that, but I'm
playing
going to
that
tell
wasn't
you,
even
it's
plugged
real. It is real.
Yeah, buddy, that's why that dream
Because
I had.
once you see it with your own eyes,
They throw that truth in
Yeah,
movies,
I'm just
too.
telling
That's
you.
why it's so important that right now we
Yes.
keep praying that He prepare our hearts
Yes.
and minds for the things that we're about
Yes.
to witness. And
because like you said, he says in the Word that there's things coming on this earth that men's heart will fail them. Think about what that could be, man. We've seen hurricanes. We've seen tidal waves. That men's hearts ain't
what
failing
happens
them.
when the Nephilim start
Wait till
creeping around the
wait till
corner?
that happens, or
People are gonna be
yeah,
jaw dropped.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
terrible. It's gonna be
Jaw drop
terrible.
now.
But anyways, Dallas, you got any more scripture over there?
Did we already I know we did 1 Timothy. Did we do 2 Timothy?
No,
No,
Do 2 Timothy.
1 and
we
6
haven't
and
even done the
7.
first Timothy.
I
Right.
thought we did do first. I thought
No.
that was your first one.
Well,
No,
we'll
that
get
was
to, we'll
Proverbs.
get to them. Do what you got.
Yeah, we'll do 1. I was going to do 1 and 7, but
Yeah, do one,
One,
do
one,
1,
6 and
6 and 7. Yeah.
So
Are
first
you doing
Timothy?
First Timothy or second?
2 Timothy.
2 Timothy.
And
1,
what-
6, and 7.
2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6 and 7, guys.
He said 2 Timothy.
That's what he said.
2 Timothy verse 1, 6 through 7.
Okay.
All right, 6 through 7.
Come on, Karen.
Wherefore I put you in remembrance that you stir up the gift of Elohim, which is in you by the putting on of my hands. For Elohim has not given us the ruach of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
You know, once the Kodeshim realize this, it's going to be, it's unstoppable.
Unstoppable. That's what I was
Unstoppable.
thinking.
That is exactly what's going to happen once the Kodeshim realize that you got this type of power. I'm talking to a specific person that's listening right now. You have the power.
Yes.
You have the power.
In the name of
Yahushua, he's given you, and the greater things you will do in his name. But remember, positivity. We got to erase negativity out of our minds, and it'd be all PMA, positive
Take
mental
every thought
attitude.
captive.
Take your bad thoughts captive. That's right.
One thing I wanted to say before we move on
Yeah.
to Christina is following the commandments alone are to be bold. You know,
Yeah.
It's just because when you follow the commandments, you're not only doing the will of Yahuah, but you're also speaking truth. And when you speak truth, is to be bold.
That's
as well.
right. There's different types of boldness.
You know, you could
Giving your
have
testimony is
Yep.
very bold.
Yep.
you could have went on to number 8 because it says,
Uh-huh.
"Be not therefore ashamed of the testimony
That's right.
of our Adonai, or me, his prisoner, but be partaker of the affliction of the Basora, according to the power of Elohim." The good news. Basora is good news.
Good news.
That's in second or first?
That's in
Second.
second.
2 Timothy, verse
Is it
number
8?
8,
Go on.
6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, 6, 7, and
Okay.
8, because it tells you right there plainly, do not be ashamed.
That's right.
Stand up.
Remember,
boldly
and
for
what did Messiah tell us? If you're ashamed of
him.
me
He's
before
gonna be
men,
ashamed of you
he'll-
before the Father.
Father.
Yes.
All right, Christina, what you got for us over there?
I've got Hebrews 4:16.
Hebrews 4 and 16. Read it loud so we can hear.
Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace,
Oh,
and that we
boldly.
may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
Yes, boldly. See, go before the throne, he says. Make your petition known, but don't go here like some kind of cocky little rascal. Go boldly, but with respect.
Smackdown.
Go boldly. That's what he wants. He wants you to come boldly to him. How many times have you went boldly to your parents and asked for something?
Bunch
Hey,
of,
Dad, I need this.
Yep.
Or hey, Mom, can I
You
have
gotta clear
that?
up when you say boldly, what do you mean when you go ask someone boldly? Like you could ask them in a rude way. You could
He
ask them
says to
straight
do
up.
it boldly.
Yeah.
That means without fear.
All
Straight
over
up.
each other. Yeah.
Straight
It
up.
don't mean doing it in some kind of smart aleck, Just go boldly. Don't be afraid to go ask him. Yeah, you be bold and ask him. Father, you know what I need right here. I'm asking you humbly. I need this. Can you please, in your good graces, provide it for me? And if he don't, guess what?
Wasn't in his will.
You didn't need
I
it
didn't need it.
because it's your want. It's a want, not a need. See, people get those confused a lot. I want a lot of things, but he don't give me what I want. Now he will,
Yeah.
he will,
Yeah.
but not all the time.
Right.
Let me tell you, I had my mind, I had my heart so set on a wagon to pull behind my truck, a food concession cart. And I was going to do a sub shop. But guess what? This is back before I was Kodeshim. And the subs are full of ham,
Oh, yeah.
salamis, all that stuff. Guess what? And that's all I could talk about. And then one day I heard a voice say,
but you prayed over it for a while.
no. I heard a voice. I didn't pray first. I said, I kept talking. That's all I could talk about was that wagon, man. I'm gonna open up the sub wagon and I'm gonna do really good with it. And it never happened. And then one day I heard a voice going into I had a dream. That's the dream. I told you, yeah. And I had a dream because of that. And I had that dream and I prayed over the dream where I'd lost everything in my dream. I had lost. Everybody lost it. And it was stored in a barn. Like you said, the wheat was stored. But my stuff wasn't in the barn. I couldn't find my stuff. Everybody else that was around me, not everybody, their things was in this barn. So it's like somebody came in and stole everything out of your house in my dream. And it was all stored in a warehouse, the barn, the wheat, where he's going to store his wheat. But he's got the tares. And I guess what? I got tore into a line, a column. I mean, no force of mine could stop it. I was put physically into a column, marched straight off to hell in this dream. It scared me. I had no power. I tried to fight it. There's nothing you can do. I was straight into that line. I woke up sweating, cold, sweating, and I started praying. What does this mean? Because it scared me. And, weeks went by. And every now and again, I'd throw that prayer back in because I'd forget about it, then I'd remember it. But I stopped talking about that card. I can guarantee you that. But I talked about it still. But then one day I was in Watertown, New York, a Petro, a stopping center. I was talking to a preacher friend of mine. I walked into the foyer, and all of a sudden I heard a voice. And I asked Dan, I said, Dan, that's who I was on the phone with, a guy named Dan. I said, Dan, you hear that? He said, hear what? I said, you just didn't hear that. I mean, it was like I'm talking right now. It says, I said, man, he asked me a question. He said, what did you hear? I said, why gainest the whole world but losest thy soul? He answered my prayer. Boy, that cut me to the quick. I knew exactly what he meant. But see, he could see down the corridor of time, guys, because that pork and all that garbage, he didn't want me feeding it to people. So that's why I did. But guess what he did for me? He gave me a hot dog cart with all beef dogs. How about that? Praise his holy name. He did it for me. But it was years later. It didn't happen right then.
And it was what he wanted,
And
not what
it's
you
exactly,
wanted.
it's what, but that's right. And it was on his time. He gave me the desire of my heart. But it was in his time, not in mine. It was like, what, 10 years down the road that he gave it to me. But that's how long it took. And it came, and it wasn't even on the radar, but he gave it to me. But anyhow, go ahead.
I got one more.
Go ahead.
Hebrews, where am I on?
It's Hebrews 10.
19 and 20. Having
Hebrews
therefore,
19 and 20.
brethren, boldness to enter into the holiest by the blood of Yahushua, by a new and living way which he has consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh.
What's the veil? The flesh? Is it go from the flesh into the Holy of Holies, into the Spirit? I think that's what it means.
Well, it could be that back then the veil
was thick.
They sent
It was the same veil.
Yeah, but they sent a priest in
With a rope
Yes.
and bells on.
Yes.
And if you didn't hear the bells ringing,
Yeah, they
he was
dragged
struck
him out
dead.
by the rope.
He was dead.
Yeah,
Because
he
you
was
had to be
dead.
holy. See, that's what the blood of Yahusha did for us. We can now go boldly before the throne, like she read earlier. That's why we have that privilege. We can go straight to the Father.
Yeah, the veil
Through the
was
precious
rent.
name of
It was
Yahushua.
rent when he
It was ringing too. Split it.
when he said it is finished.
That's right. When he drew that last breath, that veil ripped in two, darkness fell. But see, it's funny that darkness fell across the land from noon to 3. And the Bible plainly says in the 9th hour, and the darkness fell. The 9th hour, if you're from 6 a.m., that's 3 o'clock. So from noon to 3 would have been 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Well, just like their days don't match up. It's Friday and Sunday.
Look,
Sunday.
Look, I'm not doing that. I'm not even arguing about that because
I know, but I'm saying that the same with that. It's the same concept. Like
Look.
because you know it can't be dark while it's already dark.
yeah. But anyway, that's okay because
It ain't logical.
It's not. It's
look,
not logical.
if people
That's
are
perfect.
following the covenant, if they're in the covenant, that's what matters. That they
Yes.
believe on Yahusha,
But
they
you have
call
to
him his
believe it
right
all.
name.
You can't just
Look,
believe
he's
a
going
piece
look.
of it.
If one
That's
side or
fine.
the other is wrong, it doesn't matter because he's going to teach you in the wilderness in the second Exodus. That's why it doesn't matter. That's why it's not even worth arguing over to anybody for anything because we're Kodeshing. Look, families are going to fight. You know, you go home with your family. There's going to be tiffs, and there's going to be things that. But guess what? At the end of the day, you're still Kodeshing.
Yep.
Nothing. Look, nobody's ever going to agree on everything. So, but you know what? The basic thing is you believe that you follow these 10 commandments, that you follow the law, you stay in Torah. Look, the Hasatan has got this world so screwed up that we don't know the true day from this, that, or the other. But guess what? We're gonna know it. It's going to be given to us. Look, we're fought like Passover. We think we got it down to a science. We think we got tabernacles, but is it really the right days? Because the months have been changed.
Right.
I mean, it's been done for 1,000 years or hundreds of years.
The only true calendar is his moon.
That's the only true calendar. That's right, the lunar, and he don't even name the days. He numbers them. He numbers the months. And guess what? We say there's 12 months, but guess what? There's not. There's 13.
With 28 days, just like
With
the
28 days. All you gotta do is look at a turtle's shell. It's got 28 days around. It's got, see, he knows what he's doing. And
If
then,
you count my turtles, I have one.
and look, and then on the inside of it are 13. Why is it 13?
The top of a turtle shell is our true calendar.
That's right. And the Mayans knew
28
this.
days.
The Indians knew this. But how come we don't know it? Because we've been lied to.
That's the time.
Yes,
Changed everything.
he changed everything. But guess what? It's nothing to get. It's nothing to argue over. I'm not arguing with somebody about it's this, that, it's this way or that way. Just follow the Sabbath. Just keep the Sabbath. If you want to keep it from this way to that way, keep it. If I want to keep it from this way to that way, I'm going to keep it. I would rather.
Better than not.
I would
It's
rather
better
be
than
outside of
the Sabbath.
Kodeshim, trying to get them in. And if we're bickering amongst ourselves, like Ephraim and Judah's going to be doing, he says it's going to happen in Isaiah, and he says it in Ezekiel. I don't want to be part of that because they're going to get spanked. I don't want spanking. Let them fight over that. They need to be out looking for the lost tribes. That's what he tells us to do. Be out looking for the lost tribes of Israel, the northern kingdom. That's what we're called to do. That's what we need to do. So I'm not going to argue about a rapture because I know a rapture don't exist. But see, you can have that fight outside of Kodeshim because they believe it. They don't believe in keeping Sabbath outside of Kodeshim. They don't believe it. Robin, what scriptures you got?
Acts 1 and 8.
Acts 1 and 8. Acts 1 and 8, guys.
But you shall receive power after that the Ruach HaKodesh is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses to me both in Jerusalem and in all Yahudah.
Yehuda.
Yep.
In all of
Judea.
Judea. Hey,
Judea.
y'all do know, how do you get,
And in
how do you,
Shamron and in the uttermost part of the earth.
see, how do you know how to get saved? What's the way? Anybody? How do
You believe on the
but how,
Messiah.
but what has to happen for you to do that?
Calling upon
You have to,
his name.
the Ruach has
That's
to draw you in.
right.
The Ruach has
The
to draw
Ruach
you to
HaKodesh
him.
has to draw you to the Father. That's
Yes.
the only way. And believe. So they said, well, I believe in JC. Good for you. I used to, but I don't know more. Because the Ruach didn't draw you to him. And that's just how it is.
You will have his name written on his children's
That's right.
books.
And if you come in if I come in my Father's name, that means I got his name in me.
It
Now,
might have been a Ruach, but it wasn't the correct.
so what is in the Christianity, and by all rights and means, the name of the Father should be Jesus, and then Jesus come. But you
Well,
can't.
but
You
why-
can't do that.
It's changed in every language.
And that's done purposefully.
Yes, but Yahusha is not changed. It's the same in every language.
Your name is the same in every language.
Absolutely.
Your name
in
is the
Russia,
same.
in
Yours.
China,
Everywhere.
in every country,
It's the same.
Yahuah is not only spelled the same, but it almost is pronounced
Exactly.
the same in every language. And he says, "I change not. I
That's
come
right.
in my Father's name. Yahusha is Yahuah is salvation."
That's
And
right.
his
J
name.
and the letter J came in 1536
Yeah,
is when
see?
the letter J came. So
Oh.
if he changes not, how is his name
Exactly,
Jesus
exactly.
if before?
Hey, isn't it funny that
1536?
ancient Indian burial sites here in America had
Like
found
Paleo-Hebrew,
Paleo-Hebrew
and that
with
is very
Yahuwah's
first.
name in it? See,
That's how he knows who we're talking to.
he does. But see,
Yeah, he knows our heart.
yeah. Oh, well, he knows us.
That's the
Man.
chirping right there.
Man, he knows who we are, man.
Big talk.
You take your path, I take my path,
And
and
we'll
they'll
meet
go
up
their
in the
path,
middle.
and we'll all
Yeah,
meet
we'll
at the
be
same
all
place,
right.
man.
Or we're praying to the same God. No, we
Yeah.
are
No, we
not.
are not.
No,
You
we are
know,
not.
my boss said that a couple weeks ago. He
Y'all
said,
break
but
it down.
he says Yahusha and Jesus are the same. I said, no, they're not the same. I said, you got a Christmas. I said, you had the Christmas Jesus guy, I have the Passover Yahusha guy.
You got the
You
pagan
have the
guy.
anti-Mashiach.
Yeah, you have the image.
Anti-commandments.
yeah.
He's the lawless one.
The lawless one, the perdition.
Literally.
That's see it, man. Ain't it so awesome that you can see now
Yeah.
that see the veil.
You want to say you got the cult version.
Yeah, we're in the code.
That was perfect.
We're in the code. All right, Rob, what you got?
Okay, let's see here. Did I do Acts 4? No, let's do Acts. No, I didn't do 13. Acts 4 and 13 also.
4 and 13.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
there's a lot of it in Acts. Okay. Now, when they saw the boldness of Kepha, which is Peter and John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them, that they had been with Yahusha.
Kepha. Ain't that funny? That don't even sound like Peter. I think that's a made up name too.
What?
Peter.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. I mean, Kepha's Kepha. You know, it's Shimeon. I mean, and Shlomo for Solomon. You know, everything's been changed.
Yochanan.
Yeah, Yochanan. There wasn't a J. John, that wasn't his name. I mean, it's disgusting how they changed the word, but guess what? Jeremiah said they'd do it.
Yep.
So these people saw that they were dumb,
Mhm. Yep.
and they were
Yep.
doing all these things.
The
Pagan.
synagogue of
They were putting up
Hasatan.
Christmas trees and
Yep. Hey man, let's
Yeah.
put up a tree in our house, man. Well, didn't the word say not? Yeah, but he didn't really mean it in that form, man.
Yeah.
You took that out of context.
Well, I'm not idolizing it,
Yeah, I'm
I don't
not
worship
afraid
the
of it.
carving
but I'm
tree.
putting it in the middle of my
Yeah.
house, and I'm gonna decorate
Yeah,
it.
after he told us not to, but it's he didn't really mean that. I'm glad you think you know
I
what
bet
he
you
didn't
some of them
mean.
Israelites said they're not idolizing that golden
Yeah.
calf either.
Yeah.
and then Satan Claus is gonna bring all the little children.
Yeah.
Some toys.
Toys.
All right, how many did you get, Robin?
I did too.
Your Patty, you got some?
I have Timothy 1 and 7.
All right, go for it.
Get
Is
it,
that First
friends.
Timothy?
First Timothy.
1 Timothy 1, verse 7. Verse 7.
Excuse me.
Desiring to be teachers of the Torah, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm.
Ooh, ooh.
Dave, say that again.
And read 8 too.
Yep.
But we know that the Torah is good if a man conducts himself in it accordance to the Torah.
Accordance to the Torah. How about that? That's all the way over there in the New Testament, ain't it? And he says, in accordance with the Torah? I thought we weren't supposed to keep it. That's man, are they insane?
Desiring to be teachers.
Read
but don't know
9
what it says.
too.
Are they insane?
Read 9 too.
Yeah. Knowing.
It's crazy, ain't it?
Knowing this, that the law is not made for righteous man,
The law.
but for the wicked and disobedient, for the unholy and for
Ain't
the
that
sinners, for them without Yahuah, and profane, for the murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers.
10 too. Come on, keep reading.
It's
For
amazing.
whoremongers, for those who defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there are any other things that are contrary to sound doctrine,
Wow, and that's all the way around.
according to the glorious Besorah of the blessed Elohim, which was committed to my trust.
See there?
Bam!
If you're in Kodeshim, the laws. You're
We
following
just
the
might
law.
as well color the whole book.
You're following the law. See, that law is made for people that are lawless. And guess what? You're going to be judged by that.
Bam.
If you're not breaking them,
Sister.
you're not going to be judged accordingly because you're not breaking them.
And thank you, Mom.
But the people outside, they're going to get judged by it. And he's going to weigh you into balance. Look, I don't know how his judgment's righteous, But I'm gonna tell you what, it's final.
12. And I think Mashiach, Yahusha, or Adonai, which has enabled me for that he counted me faithful, putting me into the ministry.
See there, about forwarding his kingdom. And that's all from the New Testament, guys. All from the New Testament. All right, I got a couple. You got another one, Patty, you want to read?
Do you have any from the Old
That's
Testament?
all I'm doing.
Good, yes.
This is where we went around the table and every one of them came out, except for Joshua that
Yeah,
Tiffany did.
The one.
Joshua 1 verse 9. But guess what? Everything that you just heard going around this table, other than Joshua 1 and 9, came out of the New Testament, the refreshing. And that means that they got it from the Old Testament. And let's see where they got it from. We're gonna go to Isaiah 55,
Right.
55, 11. So shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Think about
It's
that.
gonna come about. It's coming.
If you
to-
standing boldly
Yes.
go where other Kodeshim go, it's not gonna come. His word's not coming back void, because he says that if you won't go do it, I'll raise up stones that will. He'll raise up rocks.
Yeah.
He will raise them up if you won't go do it. Somebody's gonna praise him. Something is gonna praise him. Why not be us?
Right.
Right.
How about Isaiah 54:4? Fear not, for you shall not be ashamed, neither be confounded, for you shall not be put to shame. For you shall forget the shame of your youth, and shall not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore. What do you think he's talking about there?
Grief.
But he said, fear not. He's even talking to the widows.
Yeah.
What could happen? What can happen for a widow? What does widowed mean?
They lose
Lose their
their
husband.
Okay, so guess what? What would the shame?
You could lose your Elohim.
You know what? Well, no. Guess what? A woman can remarry if her husband is
If her
dead.
husband is dead.
Yeah.
That's
But if he's alive, that's the only way.
that's right. If he's still alive, then
Or if he cheats on her.
that's right.
That's the only way.
The only way. But you're not. Why would widowhood be afraid of losing her salvation?
Why would what?
I'm asking Robin. She made a statement, so I'm just asking her.
Because if you lose Yahuah or
Yeah,
Yahusha,
but how's
you
that-
can walk away.
In widowhood,
Well,
why would you want to do it in widowhood if you've already made
you'll
a vow?
die in
But
him
why'd
if
you-
you have. I mean,
Well,
if
see,
you're in him, you'll
but
die in
see,
him.
he's telling the reproach of widowhood. That means she can get married again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Come
what.
Well,
out.
I don't want to. Why are you telling me?
Because you said, listen. All right, now let's go over to Isaiah 41:10.
Yeah, that's what Walking Tall put in.
Yep, Isaiah 41:10.
Yep.
Good shot, good call,
And
Walking
he said
Tall.
10 and 13.
Yeah.
You can do it. 13 as well. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your Elohim. I will strengthen you. Yea, I will help you. Yea, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. What is his righteousness? We already know
The
it.
law.
The law, the 10 Commandments, guys.
13.
That's his righteousness. Number 13. Look, I'm gonna read 12 too. You shall seek them and shall not find them, even those who contended with you. That they war against you shall be as nothing, and that as a thing of naught. See, the ones that bother you, they're not gonna exist anymore. 13, let's go. For I, Yahuah Elohim, Elohika, will hold your right hand, saying to you, fear not, I will help you. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Do you believe he'll help you if you call upon him? Positivity, PMA,
He wants
positive mental
You
attitude.
could go on back
We got to go.
14.
Look, you can keep on reading all these, but for the sake of time's sake, we're going to keep moving along. I got another one. I want to go over to Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse number 6.
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse number 6.
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
Chapter what?
chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For Yahuah Elohaka, it is that goes with you. He will not fail you, nor forsake you. Now, let's go back to Messiah when he was being executed, when he was being crucified. He said, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Where do you think he got that from? Did the Father turn his back on Messiah when he was dying?
No.
You don't think he forsook him? Forsake means, you know what forsake means, right? Don't forget.
Forget.
Don't forget me. You think the Father forgot him?
No.
I don't think he did either. But
He
but
could
he
have
cried.
called
But he cried.
10,000
Hey,
angels,
but he
didn't.
that's
He done
right.
it because he
did-
loved us
that's
and
right.
he wanted us to be set
Because
apart.
he gave him an escape route.
Yes.
But he didn't do it because he's the Word.
Yes.
He's his Word.
He knew. He came down.
He
He already
did.
knew it.
He did.
put on flesh and bone.
But
and-
guess what? Flesh still is afraid.
Yes.
That's
Because
why.
he said he prayed.
That's
and
why.
said if this could pass me,
Yes.
let it pass. He sweated
That's right. Because flesh, we're
Sweating-
afraid in the
sweating
flesh.
blood.
Yes. See, that's how much he loved us. He loved us to death.
Literally.
He did.
Literally.
He loved us to death. And it's.
I got the ruach.
I'm
all
so
over
thankful
me.
that he did. I can't thank him enough.
Mm.
You know, I said it before, I'll say it again. If I had 10,000 tongues, I couldn't praise him enough.
10 million tons.
He's just so precious, and I've been getting a lot closer to him here the last few days. I really want to get back. I want to get further up than where I was.
Yes.
I want to be enamored in the Word. I want y'all to be.
But you see how he's like the Asatan, he's like the Fuller Brush man. He gets that foot in the door, and before you know it, he's standing in there selling you the whole kit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, man, which
You gotta
color do I
you
want?
gotta be careful.
That's right. You got to tell them to get
Get
going.
thee behind me.
Our spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You absolutely right, walking tall. But guess what? That's why
She
we
said Isaiah 40. Oh, she
Yeah.
walking tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it on, Miss Walking Tall.
we got to remember that PMA, positive mental attitude.
Yes.
Negativity, if we let it slide in, it's like the Fuller
Man,
brush
it's a
salesman.
disease, man.
It is.
Negativity brings on so much.
That negativity is going to
You're
bring you
gonna
down.
attract what you put out.
Yes.
hmm
Yes.
And there's power of life and death in the tongue.
Yes.
Oh, amen.
There's
Stop
power of
talking
life and
it.
death. There's power of positivity and negativity.
See, if
Yes.
you speak something negative out, you're putting it
putting
in
it in the universe.
concrete. You're
He-
putting it out there.
He does. This is his playground. He doesn't know what you're thinking, but he can plant seeds in there, and if you speak it out, he hears it.
And he watches
Yeah,
your
they can
conduct.
Yes.
whisper.
Watch
Look,
you
that
your
demonic
life.
activity, they can whisper in your ear. But you know what? Take those thoughts captive.
Yes.
It's like
Take
the
'em, rebuke
cartoon with the devil on one
Yeah.
side and then the angel on the other. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it is.
Anybody got any thoughts on boldness? Anybody else? What are y'all's thoughts on it? Taylor, what do you think about how's your boldness? Where are you at with it?
I'm pretty bold. I mean, I feel like I could be bolder in like terms of reaching more people
Like
when
how?
it comes to like
I'm ready
talking
to go
about the
street
word.
preaching. I'm gonna start going on Sunday mornings in front of every church with this Bible. That is where I'm at.
That's where.
Give me
Okay,
a
well, that's
megaphone.
bold. That's bold. See, Dallas is with you. He says he's there too. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I'm ready. I mean, I've been ready.
Well, I
We're
have
gonna
to
go
say,
to church.
I have to
I
say
wanna
for
go
the
to church.
one that brought on this this
Topic.
yes Patty had she was very bold when her son went to have his surgery, wore the shirt.
Good.
And this right here, that is a way for that is
That's a
that is a
testimony.
walking billboard. That is a testimony. And she said that even the surgeon came out and gave her a thumbs up for the shirt. So he knew what it meant.
Yeah.
So it's reaching others, they know, but it is a wonderful conversation starter.
It
Like,
is.
hey, what's that mean?
Yep.
Right.
Look, we were sitting out on the thing, and a woman walks by and says,
I like your shirt.
"Like your shirts."
At
And you know what? Instead of instead of saying something, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said something right then.
Well, you were probably like,
I was just shocked that she
Yeah,
said it.
I was stunned,
Yeah.
kind of like,
I was-
well, that's good.
I looked at
All
Scott
right.
and went,
Because she had on a Mardi Gras shirt from Louisiana. So you know what Mardi Gras is about. It's nothing but a party.
devil.
So, I mean,
All that down there in New
it's,
Orleans.
New Orleans,
demonic,
there's a lot of witchcraft
all that
and a lot
voodoo,
of
yeah,
demonic things
demonic.
Yeah.
I can't stand that place. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but I can feel it when I'm there. I've been there many times.
He's not saying
And
the
I'm-
people.
the
He's
people,
saying
it's
the activity.
the atmosphere.
demonic
Just,
activity.
Yeah.
you can feel it, man. It's I don't like it at all. Not
You
at
know
all.
if they're down there peeing and pooping in the streets.
Yeah, but it's terrible. But anyways, guys, Patty, where
You know
are you
that's
at?
not of Yahuah.
This was your topic. Tell us how you feel about it. Have you been emboldened? Are you
Well,
You
getting
got,
there?
You got that ruach boldness.
well, I mean, I just wanted to say, before I come here and was a believer in Yahuah and changed my ways, I led a lot of people to JC.
We all have.
Sure
Yeah.
did.
And
Yeah.
Sure did.
and I want to lead a lot of people to Yahuah.
See, that's what I want to do. But guess what? That's going to be harder.
Boldness.
It's going to be a lot harder.
I know.
Yeah, but you're planning. She wants to
Because
be
that's
a.
the wide path.
That's it
But-
right there,
but
man.
You want to be a seed planter. That's
Yep.
what
that's
she's
what
saying.
we have to remember.
And that's
is
good.
We don't necessarily have to plant it, water
No,
it, stand
that's
there,
it.
watch
Reap it.
We plant the seed,
Yeah.
and other people.
Other
will come
Kodeshim
along.
will water it and reap the harvest. That's how
Yes.
it works. And it took me a long time to figure that out.
But
if you just plant a seed, it don't matter if it could be something like wearing that shirt. You planted a seed, somebody's reading it. Let me go see who you. Somebody will say, "Who's Yahuah and Yahusha?" See, there you
Walton
go.
Tall said, "Our spirit is willing, but our flesh is
Yep.
weak. But if we speak to that flesh,
Right.
That's right. Remember, which dog?
Yahushua
You
has
got two
authority over
dogs.
that flesh.
yes,
I just want to maybe right my wrongs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but guess what? Look, if we do it this, look,
you have by coming to
Yes.
Him.
yes. Listen, the people that we look, it's forgiven. There's only one sin that's unforgivable.
Yes.
Only one.
And you have not committed it.
And you have not, because if you did, you wouldn't be sitting here. You wouldn't care nothing
Listen,
about
just
this.
by you doing this, that is boldness.
Look, the ones that we all led astray, I know we've all led them astray in JC. If we tell them about Yahuah and Yahusha and the Ten Commandments and Torah, well, guess what? You've undone yourself.
And our Father will hold us in ignorance to some of that
Yes,
because
that's right.
He knew
We-
our.
we were
that
taught that.
We did not know. We didn't even know this name
And
existed.
it's
I think the
you
ones
know?
before us too, before
Yep.
this time that we're
Yep,
living
I do
in,
too.
like
That's
my
went
grandma,
on.
for
That's
example.
went on.
My grandma, she believed in following the Ten Commandments, but she called on Jesus.
I
But
think it's
I think
yeah,
that she'll be held in
I
ignorance.
do too. But I believe once you know the truth,
Then you're held accountable.
then you're held
Right,
accountable.
but she did.
Right.
Well, see,
Well,
nobody
then
can be
she's
told
gonna
the
be
truth
held
and not
accountable.
Look,
Right.
how many
Two
times
different
did you
things.
hear the name Yahusha or Yahuah
Never.
20 years ago?
Never.
I never heard
Never.
it. Never.
You know, I think all of us kind of found that video and we were just all kind of,
Oh, I was dead against it.
right. Scott said, he said, I watched that thing. He said, Robin, I watched that video
30 times,
50
yeah.
times. You know, and I was like, and then when it kind of started setting in, it was scary to me, like
Like you thought you was blaspheming.
yeah, am I doing something wrong?
Yep.
Yes.
Am I doing something
That
wrong?
conviction hit.
That-
for
see,
it.
But
that's
it did.
his. I love
But
it.
it was that conviction. It was
Right.
not because when he said it about calling on the name of Yahuah and Yahusha, I don't have that. I used to have like a buzzing in my head all the time when I was praying. And I'm not meaning a real buzzing, but it was like something was coming at me. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
a constant nagging
Yeah.
at me. A constant nagging.
I thought Yahuah and Yahusha sounded silly. I did too.
But now, when I say,
But
I
now
call
it don't.
that, it's so freeing. It is like, That's
It's
what's
liberating.
Yes, liberating.
Yes.
You just feel
The Ten
free
Commandments
in
are
it.
liberating.
Yes.
You feel all the weight of
But
this
calling
world.
on that name is
There's
different.
power in his
Yes,
power.
it's different. It's
It's-
Things
not the
have
same.
happened for me that never happened before because I'm
Yes.
saying
Yes, and look, in my dreams, I used to try to say, when I was having demonic dreams against the devils and things, I would try to get the name Jesus out, and it's like somebody,
Yep.
it's like the demon was holding my tongue laughing at me. But now when I dream with these silly
There's so
Yeah,
imbeciles,
Uncle Snack said
I
I thought
say,
Yahuah.
I say Yahusha in my dreams, and I have control of them. I command them. I've done it already in several dreams. That's power. He says there's power in my name. And I know what he meant by, if you come to me, I will give you peace, who are weary and laden. I will give you peace. I'll give you rest. Once you drop the doctrine and come out of this world and get into his world, it's freeing. That's the freeness he's telling you about. I don't care about your doctrine no more. I don't care about your church crap no more. I don't care about your coffee maker that you want to buy over there. That latte, frappuccino, cappuccino, whatever the school, but I don't care.
Donuts.
I don't care about nothing in the church. Because judgment is coming there first when he comes back.
But look, here's another thing too, Scott. Like, I truly believe that I know for a fact that we are following the narrow path is because everybody else in the Christian church hates us because of it.
They do.
And that is the wide path of destruction right there.
Yeah, and guess what? Now we got 3 or 4, all the religions of the church, 50,000 denominations or more, when there should only be one.
Right.
Listen,
And guess what?
go ahead.
You got the Muslim coming against us now. You got the Christian. We got the whole world coming against us.
But in reality, the Christians say, well,
Oh,
we
yeah,
follow
yeah.
the Bible.
Yeah, they don't follow it.
The Holy Bible.
They follow King James.
They follow what they want to.
That's it.
They pick and choose
They
what
follow
they want.
cherry pick. There you go.
Yeah.
They follow the new scripture and the
And that's
old.
it. It do away with the old.
Listen to this. I had a friend of mine that I do her hair reach out to me because I used to help with the Philippines because there was a mission, and she says we're having a fundraiser this weekend, and I sent her. She says we sure would love to see you there, and I said, well, because y'all are not given the correct doctrine, I'm not allowed. I would love nothing more than to help, but since you're not following the true doctrine, I said I respectfully decline to be there. And then, Scott always says back it up with scripture. Boy, I laid them out. And if anybody don't believe it, even in the King James version, you go look at Psalm 68:4, and you tell me it don't tell you his name. It is boldly there, and it was meant to be left.
Yep,
It tells you
Couldn't
his
touch that.
name.
that's
They
right.
couldn't touch that, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not just the name, though. It's the doctrine that they believe.
doctrine.
Absolutely.
That's right. The doctrine of man.
Absolutely. But how can you be doing a correct something if you're not calling it by the right name?
Yeah,
That's
if you're
true.
not, how can you be saved? He said,
That would be
look,
like
he
me
says,
to
in order
be-
to be saved, call on my name.
Not
If you
that
don't know his name, how are you calling on him? His name's not JC. We already know that. That's why his name is taken out over 7,000 times.
Jesus
Yes.
means earth pig.
That's exactly what it means.
Or ground. Ground
That's
or earth.
exactly what it means. And it was given to us by the Romans.
Yep.
That's where it came from. It more from Isusus to Jesus, Chris knows to
Well,
Jesus.
before you cut that off, we need
It's
to know
terrible.
what we're doing next week.
What, anybody have any ideas what scriptures y'all want to go over? What kind of, anybody out there? Type something in. What subject you want to go over? Anybody at the table? Whatever subject.
I would like to go over Paul's writings and how people say that he contradicts himself.
Let me tell you about that. Go ahead. Paul, I'm listen, back,
I'm on the fence with that.
listen, this is why.
Spots that
Because you got to remember, back in his day, you had to be careful what you said. That day's coming again, where you're going to have to talk in code.
Yep.
And Paul talked a lot in code too, because he had to be careful not to say certain things against the Roman, the empire, against the emperor, because it's instant death. And so he chose his words correctly. So that's where I'm at, because you have to, but if you got to know the time and place where he was at. Look, it's coming now. It's like when Christina told us at the beginning that little how are you going to arrest a 9-year-old girl for talking against homosexual garbage, filth, demonic activities? The little girl it's coming to a locale near you. Yep. You will be rounded up. We're all going to be, some of us are going, our heads will be whacked off, but let them come. I don't care. I might be at the top of the list. It don't matter to me.
I'm probably
Anyone
at
on the
list
front
too.
lines needs
I'm
to
telling
know
you.
that they're probably going.
And your
Yeah.
family's going to turn you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I already got the ones picked that's going to turn me in probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
Uh-huh. Yeah. They already turning you in.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
look,
They
Turning
already
you out.
persecuting you.
look,
Absolutely.
so we're doing contradiction? Is that, I mean, how, is that
It's an
what
idea. It's just
Look,
an
Uncle
idea.
Uncle Snack said I thought Yahuah and Yahusha sounded
I already read
silly
that.
at first.
You coming in late there, girl.
Yeah. Did you say that?
I've been,
loud?
Yeah.
I've read 3 of them. You already read
Well,
again.
that just tells you how much I pay you attention.
Anyways,
I enjoyed the boldness.
I
yeah.
did too.
Anybody?
There was, I still had more.
Try
Almost.
to
I think I never
do a
100
study
bucks.
on the second Exodus.
The second Exodus. Is everybody okay with the second Exodus?
Yeah.
How about if we do a cross between Paul and the second
Why
Exodus?
we split like half of you do?
Yeah, like who wants to do, split them up. I'll do them both, but because the second Exodus, that's gonna be hard. Cause you got to know, you really gotta know idioms.
So we're gonna do
and
what, contradiction? Is that what it is?
Yeah, with Paul's writing.
Paul's writing.
Okay.
So,
You know, look, Paul and Peter did not get along.
So if Paul contradicts himself,
I'm not saying he did.
what else is contradictory? That's what I'm saying. We really
What
gotta
I
get
want
into
to
that.
study is that how people can say that Paul's contradicting himself.
Yeah. How can you say it?
That's touchy.
And second
Yeah,
Exodus.
how can you say
That's
that?
why I want
But
to
I know,
study it.
I know back then you had to be careful what you said, especially when you're writing it on papyrus paper and it get into the wrong hands.
Contradictory,
Yeah,
and that's gonna.
yeah.
raise
Where's
some
it?
questions in
See,
your
that's
own
what I'm
spirit.
saying. Where's it at?
I'm just saying.
But I
I
want to break it
basically
down and figure out exactly why people think that.
look. Paul wrote 13 books of the New Testament. 13. So
We don't
I-
have to do all of them, but
No, no, no.
I just want some.
my
examples.
favorite book of the Old Testament, I mean the New Testament, Revelation. Period.
Yeah.
I know, and I like Matthew. I love Luke. I love Mark and Yochanan. I love all 4 of them. I love 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. 1st and 2nd Peter. I love them.
I love the Old Testament
But
because
because that's where they were
I
preaching
I
from.
love the Old Testament.
And I love the book of James.
I like Hebrew.
Hebrews is good. Romans. See, that's Paul's writing. Hebrews.
I think
and-
I'm gonna like Second Timothy.
but anyways, guys,
Right?
just do. We'll do a.
Yeah.
Just start looking for the second Exodus and let's look into Paul's writings to see if Paul was contradictory. I have a time with it because I mean, how is Messiah going to come to somebody onto the road to Damascus? Everybody else can hear,
Yeah,
and then he's going to contradict. See,
just doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense.
because if
But-
that's contradictory. Then what?
But what does make sense about that, Dallas, is that the line pen of the scribes can change that. Like Jeremiah 8 and 8. Jeremiah, he said they'll do it. So you don't think they had the power to, and they left out scripture too from Paul, even from Matthew, and they've left scripture out from Mark. So you don't think that's to make him, it's to,
To
hey,
discredit and
yeah, to discredit.
yeah.
Now, I would love to see the actual text. I would love to see the actual scriptures that was actually penned and how they translated and where they
Yeah.
translated from. I'd
That
love
would
to see
be
that
interesting.
and get the actual. I think this is the closest to this in the renewed version, the restored. The one we got, Tiff, you know,
Yeah.
the restored, I can't remember what's it called.
Yeah, I have it.
RSTNE.
The RST.
Yeah, that one, the restored text. It's good. But guys, we love you guys. Thank y'all for joining. Please, if you ain't subscribed, subscribe.
And if you need a prayer request,
Yes, and if you
put
need
it
a
in
prayer,
the,
put it in. We'll pray for Walking Tall. We got you. We got Uncle Snacks. We got Dave, Amy, and
I have a
Heather.
special request.
Is she on there?
No, she's in bed really sick.
Okay, well,
But she
tell her we
asked
said
for-
hello,
And
Brianna.
I asked for prayer for one of my clients. She was mopping this week and fell and broke her back.
Oh.
And she went to the hospital and they told her to go home and lay in bed for 2 weeks, not move. and that she asked for a back brace. They told her she could buy one at CVS.
Yeah, the hospitals are
For
a
a
joke
broken
anymore.
back.
For
Yeah,
a broken, it's broken.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we love y'all. We'll see y'all next Sabbath. Y'all have a blessed and happy Sabbath day today. Don't do nothing that we wouldn't do. Don't do anything the world would do. Do what Kodeshim are called to do. We love you. We love you. We love you. In Yahushua's mighty name we pray. Bye.
You know why ours look different? Yours is non-edition.